Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back. It's been a few streams. How are folks? Hey, Tuxedo. Hey, Ben. Hey, Thunder Keys. Hey, Lars. Hey, Scope and Monkey Butler Labs. Hey, Arthur. Dead Bob. Nathan. Hey, PF Dennis. Hey, Steve. Hey, MacBoy. Malfrey. And who else? Delmar. I think I saw Shammy around earlier, too. How is everybody? Hey, Joseph. Whew. It's been a busy couple of weeks, but I think I pretty much got where I wanted to be for the show. Got everything ready. This thing basically complete. I had some heating bed issues at the show, but I solved those when I got home, so no big deal. Hey, 3D Experiments. Hey, Maz. Brian and Bjornar. Shadell. Hey, Niraku. Kittrell and James. So I had put up a little question on Discord about CAD ideas to cover for this stream, and I couldn't get myself in the headspace to do that. So I decided that since some happenings occurred with the Tridex, I figured we would play with it. It's just a head. I know this thing's tall. You'd seen her Rocky Mountain. Thanks again for the hex tray. Awesome. Yeah, Rocky Mountain was a blast. I very much enjoyed meeting anybody who came up to say hi, meeting people I already know. It was a lot of fun. The drive was good. Yeah. Need one of those flexi spot desks. I'm thinking about how I can incorporate a adjustable height desk into my eventual streaming location plans. We'll see. Hey, Andres. YouTube did not show the video. Did you get a Discord notification though? So anybody who is in my Discord, link should be in the description, and links your YouTube account to Discord, you'll auto get a role called the CA stream or it gives you the option of getting the CA streams notification role. It will auto, once you have that role, it will give you access to the chat channel for this stream, which reminds me I should probably pull that up, and I should also turn on streaming mode in Discord. There we are. Okay, I was trying to go, but my Colorado trip got moved to next week. Oh, that's a bummer. Hey, Oric. Invite is invalid. Uh-oh. Okay, let me fix that. Let me fix that. Oh, come on. Seriously? So if I go to my Discord settings, server settings, and go to custom invite link, it tells me that streamer mode is enabled, so it doesn't show me the page. Okay, let me fix this real quick. Let me put my huh? Why doesn't that work? Oh, because it's not that. Okay, it should work now. Hey, Poity. I did, that's why I knew. Awesome. Hey, Void. Hey, Randy. So if you refresh the page, the description link should work now. Hey, Fabrico. I imagine. Shammy. Nice to see you and the wife and kids. I can do it. So today is going to be a pretty relaxed stream. I don't know actually what I'm doing with this Tridex as far as I don't know the process. So we may hit a roadblock. We may not, but we're just going to hang out and work on Tridex. And maybe show a few things I brought back from Rocky Mountain that may appear on Maz. I see you joined, so it worked. Yeah. So Rocky Mountain was big. There was like 4,500 people there. Hey, John, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Will I see you at Open Sauce? I will be at Open Sauce. That is in a short 6 or 7 weeks. I don't have a lot to prep for that though. Yeah, Saturday was nuts. The wide aisles that they did this year, they doubled the floor space and put wide aisles, and that was absolutely needed. So the that 4,500 I think was total attendees, so it was like 2,000 something on the first day and something on the second. Bartos, thanks for being a member. The event handled that amount of people with ease. Yeah, next year will be good. 3D Printopia, I am planning on being there. I'm planning on being at Open Sauce, Murph, Rapid, Orange County Maker Faire, 3D Printopia, Vice, what's the, Mare Island Maker Faire. And you know, I've been busy, too busy, yeah. Okay, so my Tridex. I've still got a mess around here. I need to work on that. But Tridex. And I'm hoping to do Formnex and Smurf as well. So maybe I won't miss you at Bay Area Maker Faire this time. I might go to OC Maker Faire too. Nice. Hey, Jay. From day one of building this printer, we noticed that when I home Y, the x-axes shift. If anybody remembers that, that's been a problem I had not been able to solve, and it's been frustrating me. It's one reason that I've just kind of not spent a ton of time on the printer. And I fixed it. With some help, with some suggestions. And actually, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. At Rocky Mountain, I met Joey, who is pretty much published a very nice set of configuration and macros and printer or slicer settings for the Tridex. And I was very glad to meet him in person at Rocky Mountain, and we talked about the problem. I had my Tridex there. So we went over there and I showed him it, and we tried a few things. We made sure the gantry wasn't racked. We checked trigger points were set. We did everything we could think of right there, and it still puzzled us. What seems to be happening is both YN stops will trigger right when you can push the gantry to the back and Clipper reports them triggered, but it doesn't stop homing when they're triggered. Now, I tried things like changing it to only home to one YN stop, one or the other. Either one, if it's only homing to one, it still did it. So the last thing to try was just swap out the controller. So I had a Fly Super 8 in there, and I swapped to an Octopus, and the problem went away. No other change. It homes fine now. I don't know why that Fly Super 8 is doing it. I tried different end stop ports on it. I tried pull up, no pull up. I have a Fly Super 8 in my VZBot, and it homes just fine. I don't know why. I don't know the specific reason why on the controller that I had in this printer, it would not home correctly. So, interesting, huh? Very odd. Hey, Obi-Wan, nice to see you, even if briefly at the show. What is all that spaghetti? What is all what spaghetti? Are we talking about the umbilical wires, which I am going to redo? I'm not really thrilled with this, so I will be redoing all of this. I'm going to run some chain flex, I think, up in there, or something similar. I swapped from Octopus to a Spider and still have the wondering why issue on my Tridex. Really? It is it's a dissatisfying solution in that I don't know exactly why it was caused. But it's satisfying in that I can just move on. I have a working configuration now. If I bring this forward and I home Y, it just homes. No drama. I go through here. It's gonna go out of the way. Then it's gonna go and it's gonna home to nudge. So I have nudge installed on here right now. But it's only being used for the Z right now. So yeah, easy. So the link to this page is in the description. We're gonna mostly be playing here in the printer configuration area. Now I've already copied all of these over. All of this works. It's not really kind of the, I didn't want to spend a ton of time on stream doing this. I wanted to make sure all this is working. But there are various configuration variables that you set when you use these config files. They're very similar to what I had before, but just tweaked by 3DP is the Discord name. 3DPDX, is that right? I get that mixed up. Let's see. R2PDX. R2PDX. Ajax, welcome. Hey, Alex. Hey, Alvaro. So, what my plan is, I modeled a new filament inlet setup because I'm moving to putting my spools on the side, and I may actually move to putting the spools on the inside on this printer. We'll see. But for right now, I'm going to be putting the spools on the side. The current, as you saw from this view, this setup here pushes back too far. I modeled a modified version of the inlet that I used on the Green V2 build. So I modeled two of them, and I offset them by 2 millimeters. So so it should, you would know, huh, Joseph? Welcome. So hopefully the PTFE tubes somewhat avoid each other. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but I wanna try it. So we're gonna replace this. The PTFE tubes that I had on here before when I moved the spools to the side weren't long enough to come over to the side here. So that's what kind of prompted me to model this up. So Joseph Grainer in here is the individual who generated these. This is Joseph, as you see at the top of the screen. So thanks for being here. Hey Skyrim, hey MacBoy. There are, since it's being mentioned here, there are other mods here. There's some, lots of things. Adjustable carriage, dragon burner cowls, umbilical mounts, filament run out, umbilical management. Lots of stuff here. I may use some of it, I may not, depending on how I want. I'm not really too concerned about filament run out. I think I've ran out of filament once or twice in my printing. And that's only because I didn't actually pay attention to how much filament I had left. So it's not a bad idea to put in, but I may not add the complication. So, but there's lots of things here. Little Revo nozzle holders for the front skirt, that kind of thing. But we're gonna hang out in the printer configuration side. And really, we're gonna hang out more in, I think now, the slicer configuration, because we're gonna put this into Prusa Slicer and play around with that. The other thing I hope to do today is work on nudge. This one, maybe a, the rollover for those spools that you want to use up. That may be a use case that get me to use it. Joey, yeah. Have you considered modifying the Tridex to a single tool printer? Call it Tridon't or something. Thank you, John. So nudge is a super clever nozzle alignment, automatic nozzle alignment tool by Z-Runcho in the community. This is, I love this. I absolutely love this because it's very DIY, very in the rep mindset. There's nothing special on this. It's a 3 or 5 millimeter rod, some screws and magnets, and a printed part. Hey, Derek. Nice to see you at Rocky Mountain, Derek. This is the entirety of the setup. The recommendation is to use these copper screws. I did order some off AliExpress, but mine is using stainless screws. But there's 2 printed parts, some magnets, and some hardware. The way this works is if we scroll up here and you see this JST connector here. It's just a straight through PCB mount JST connector. And one side of this touches this screw. Here, you can see it right, oops. You can see it right here. One side of the JST touches this screw. When the probe part is, the button head there is touching these 2 screw heads, it completes this circuit. So you complete this circuit all the way around. If any of these gets nudged, it breaks the circuit and trips the end stop. It's amazing. I love it. There's a little video on the install. I have it installed in the printer right now, so we won't be actually doing an install or assembly here. But let's bring this back down to a sane zoom level. But there is a pretty involved setup process for this. And we're gonna play with that. I don't know if we're gonna finish it, but it's because I don't know exactly everything that's gonna be involved. So I think the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna install my filament inlet. We will also, probably for a first test, check out, I've used this quite a bit and I've shown it, the Ember camera. So I think we're gonna do a nozzle alignment, see where our offsets are, and then go into nudge setup. Saw Bill at Rocky Mountain, flash by on Hot Mix live stream. Yeah, I saw Bill in quite a few background pictures. Okay, I got to throw in a few heat sets onto this. So let me grab those. Hey, Stuart, it has been a long time. It's been too long. Should do this. There we go. That'll be good enough. Think you'll ever make regular videos rather than streaming? Regular videos are hard for me. I haven't gotten past if I can get past a wall of getting caught up in the details of regular videos, then yeah. But I'm at analysis paralysis. Bill is hard to miss with his extended Z-axis. Yes. We can go through and show a few things, a few fun things that were obtained at the show. Let me just throw these in here real quick. This won't take very long. Adam at Vector 3D was showing off a new version of this. The VLMP heat set press. Saw Adam there, he flew in from the UK. Okay. Hey, Frank. Andrew, oh, I saw that complete with storage bins. You know, to be honest, I kind of like this open here. I could set this on something and get to a taller item. I think I have more flexibility here, honestly. I'm very happy with this one as it is. Okay, oh, I got 2 more heat sets to put in. I have 2 of the inlet clamps. Miss Adam and Zach Friedman at Rocky Mountain. Yeah, I saw both of them. I didn't talk to either of them all that much, but... So I did mirror these so that they sit correctly. Oh, it's taking a little, why is that? There we go. Okay, there we go. The temperature on the iron had messed up. Okay. Hey, Ella. How are you? We are starting the black box build tomorrow, and I think I'm mostly ready. I have lots of parts printed. I have the first 2 parts ready. See you, John. Take care. I have lots of parts printed. The first 2 major parts in the manual are set. Okay, let's put these together. What are we working on today? Anything new at Rocky Mountain? Oh boy, I'm still kind of on overload of Rocky Mountain. There was lots of cool stuff. To list what's new, I think a big one from my point of view is the Cascade. So Voron CNC. Okay, so that one, and this one. Seems to have a stable sensorless homing for the first time. Nice. So yeah, these just go on the side, and these are offset. These are offset as well, to line up with the filament path. Now I'm not tightening these down. I am going to run a reamer through this and then tighten them down. So I'm just going to go by hand and run this all the way through. This is going to line it up, and now with that in there, I'm going to tighten this down just to force it to be in line. Are you planning Smurf again this year? I am. If I can get away with it, I'm doing all the things. So, and then we can twist that out. And that's one of them. Very excited about Cascade. Started planning space in the garage for it already. Awesome. My CNC collection is is growing. So goes in there. And then I'm just going to tighten these down while that's in there. How was the overall response to Cascade from the show? It seemed pretty positive. Doug, who's the member of the design team who's kind of leading that charge, said that the chats he had were very good. Okay. Looks like the only CNC my partner could approve of. The footprint of it is nice, is pretty nice. Since it swings the short axis instead of the long axis. The GPs, welcome. Got a weekend ticket to Smurf and we'll be staying up in Manchester. Awesome. I will see you there. I will not be directly comparing Milo to Cascade. I am planning on using my Milo. I need to use it. It may help make parts for Cascade. So that's not, I've said it before, I try not to get into reviews or comparisons, although it happens, but the intent is to build them both and use them both because I like to build. Okay, we're gonna pull this out. I liked this setup, but yeah, but I think this other one will be better. Okay, then we're going to, I'm gonna try to sneak this out without pulling the whole rear panel apart. Just pull the top. Nat, Bruno, thanks for being a member. What are we doing? We're playing with Tridex. We're gonna do a hangout, talk about events, play with Tridex. There we go. Called Steve Builds, not Steve Reviews. Exactly. You will get little bits, tidbits that interject, get thrown in, but that's not the, it's not the intent. We're having fun building because that's what I like to do. Okay, and then I'll recover the parts, but that was the Sanity's fault. It looks like an owl. Now I think I can just go ahead and just assemble all of this way and slide it on there. I'm interested in Cascade, but I'm not sure I have the room or need for it. I think I'm gonna get a big table to put in here. There we go. That was easy. I don't suppose you ran into tap samples tolerance issues on any of your machines? Well, the only time I have that happen is when the nozzle still has some filament on it. If I clean it well before the print, then I don't have any issues. Final Rat Rig versus Milo will be interesting. The one at the show is a very early beta. Okay. A little PTFE. Two turtles looking out. Okay, this is gonna go in here. And this one. Definitely have a clean nozzle, but yeah, seems odd. Let's put these guys back on. My V2 that I scrambled to get ready for, that I didn't show any on-screen content, turned out very nice. I'll have to post some pictures of it. It's V2 serial number 449. So it's fairly early. It was built almost exactly 4 years ago. I put the Chaotic Lab, their new version 2 of their CNC parts kit on it. And it has a Revo Roto and Stealth Burner configuration. And E3D Bamboo Obsidian High Flow Hot End, and the Duet Roto think this one is going to go to this tool head. Duet Roto controller toolhead board can, which by the way, can on RepRep firmware and Duet is simple to set up. Okay, let's disable the steppers here. And they're scanning Z probe. And one who helps out at the E3D booths at these events was awesome in getting it set up to print. He made it print. He had it printing all weekend. It was reliable. That looks like it's going to work pretty well. I'm going to pull a little bit more out of that, actually. Do something like that. Yeah, that'll work really well. See how they interact with each other. I'm going to call it right there. About the V1 chaotic CNC tap at launch, should it just be tossed in the bin or can it be salvaged? I use a V1 still on a printer. I mean, you're going to have some ceiling of performance on that, but if that meets your needs for speed and print quality, then it's not bin worthy. Okay, so we're gonna go right about, what I really love about this is just the smooth filament path. I'm gonna just go right there. Hey, Pedro. Curious to see how the Obsidian high flow holds up. Yeah. Let's loosen this. There we go. I like it. My Trident has this Calibration Tap V1 and it's working fine. Yeah. Hey, John. I did add the magnet mod to it though. What magnet mod? I don't know about this. That, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's do that again. So this one will go under. We'll see how I'm happy with it as a single tool head. Hopefully they interact with each other well. Make sure you have the higher preload rail. If not, get in touch with, oh yes, that's true. The V1s, they did a revision on the rail. So that's going there. That's there. So now that goes there. Yeah, we'll see how that does. IDEX is always fun for that. I don't have my other PTFE holder. Where is that? It might be in the other garage. I might have to go grab it. Let's see if it's in here somewhere. Or is it in a box from the event? Where are those things? Still have things in random boxes all over the place. Do you have anything to avoid the PTFE tube from rubbing on the top? I don't. I just let it rub. I don't. It doesn't bother me too much. Might be surprising, but I let that problem go long ago. There is. Let me check the other garage. I'm going to be right back. Put you in the hands of Dancing Max. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Pardon me, I still haven't unpacked my bag yet and only unpacked half my backpack. Oops. Would you like to convert my 2.4 to tool changer or just build another one that's 350 instead of 300? That tool changer does look cool. Stealth changer, whatever. Does look cool. It's just hard to fit into the schedule. Okay, so that's there. Those look about even. Bring these around here. There. Go pull just a little bit more out of here. Yeah. Okay, and then I'll cut it over here. I think the Micron Plus with trap changer zombie built. I didn't get a chance to look at that closely. Somehow I never got to that, to Zombie's booth. The part you mounted on the back where both PTFE tubes enter, where can I get it? I modeled that like 2 days ago. So it's not out there yet. I needed to make sure it actually fits. Let's put that away. And then this will go in here. Those front idler stock, they look rather different, 2 screws. Well, this is Tridex. So it's a hybrid Core XY setup. So there is one, the bottom screw here is for Y tension, because there's individual motors back here for Y. And then the top screws on either side are for each X belt tension. Excuse me. I have a Cyborg Trident kit and the high wind rails are really nice. Cannot get LDO kits here in Mexico, so Cyborg has been a great alternative. That's good. Glad to know you like it. Someone needs to see some doctored gifts, Max and Nightclub Max. I'll buzz you later for you to send it to me. Yeah, I can post that. I mean, there's no reason for me not to post it on my GitHub now. I just need to throw it out there. Happy, thanks for being a member. Good meeting you last weekend. Great stuff. Awesome. Hey, Julie. Okay, so that is done. Let's set the tool offsets, because really I think that's where we're at. So let's set the tool offsets with the camera, and then if we can get the nudge to work, we will compare, see where it's at. Did you design the inlets vertically spaced apart, or are they on the same level? They are exactly 2 millimeters offset. So they are a total of, they're offset, yeah. A total of 4 millimeters. Have you ever installed the EBB SB2209 can with an octopus? I have, yep. I have one of those on my blue V2 now. Hey, Iridium. Hey, Blue. You stole my mug. I have to use the Rocky Mountain mug at least one more time before next year. Yeah, so if we go here, we home all. How's the Trident? It's still in the box. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not 100% convinced on this now. It might be a problem, it might not be. We'll see. We shall see. I wonder if it would help if I kind of flip these. Kind of force them to go the other way. I don't know. That's definitely a challenge with any multi-tool head setup is PTFE and wire management. Thought it was going to ram into the first hot end. Nah, it kind of jammed into a spot on top, so we won't worry about it too much. If we do Z-tilt, this will go and line up the... I have a Euclid probe in here. Did you have to cut a new PTFE tube? That might be my fault. At the booth, someone needed a new tube, and I might have found one laying on the table that was from Tridex. I pulled them out, Kyle. Don't worry about it. You're good. If somebody needed it, it's not a problem. The ones that I had on this printer weren't going to work anyway, and I brought this extra tubing. I was going to replace it on here, but I never got this running. Big fan of how Phoenix does things on the front. Yeah, no worries, Kyle. Let me see here. I bet you this... Nope, doesn't do that. Let's try this. There we are. Might as well use my own member milestone chat. Okay, so that works. See, I've got a... This is the nudge probe part. Magnet screws and this 3mm rod is this long because I have the Mandela kinematic bed mounts on this printer. That just goes in there. And it works just fine as a Z end stop. You pick up a beacon to try beacon contact when it releases. I did not. I did not. Let's see. Let's look at what other stuff do we have here. It's black. It's Blackpoint. Thanks for being a member. From Switzerland. And Steve, thanks for being a member. And hi. So in the description is the Tridex mods folders. Where were we? Slicer configuration is where we're at. There might be a beacon sale in the coming weeks. That's what Matt told me. Good. So here's a Prusa slicer config we can import, and we can get bed texture. Let's try that. Okay. I had cloned this repo to my local drive. So let's go into Prusa slicer and let's go back here. This is from Mark III testing that I've been working on. So let's get rid of this and let's import a config. And save this here. And do I have a, no, not that drive, that drive. GitHub, and then Tridex mods, and then print, nope, slicer configuration is what I want. And here, so this is that file. Every eddy current sensor will have touch probing very soon. Being replaced. I really enjoy watching her build various things. I haven't worked up the courage or had to dive into building on Voron yet. Well, thanks for being here, Julie. I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay, let's open that. And here is our Tridex. We have some Polymaker ABS as part of the profile. That's all hidden by chat, but that's okay. Told it's a firmware level, so maybe not. Suppose I figured out. And then some other settings here. What do we got going on here? There's some pretty conservative things. Filament stuff and then printer stuff. So this is, let's see what this is set up as a 300. So we're gonna go, I don't know what our actual print area is on this. Let's see if that's mentioned in the docs here. slicer configuration. So corrected my copy mirror mode, started to align the new print start macro. Will no longer get errors when using these modes. The bed size is 300 by 300. I guess if we, since it's set here, since it's set here, we can just go 250. 250, which I don't actually have all of. We can load the PNG file from here. So bed textures, and we're gonna grab the 250 PNG and open that. And then we're gonna load the 250. Oh, that doesn't show up? Huh. Okay, let's say okay. If we come over here now. Wow, that's taking a bit. There we go. So this is kind of neat. So this we can hit tool 0 only. We can do copy and mirror in here, or we can hit T1 only. Taking the mini me home from Jiu-Jitsu. See you, Dead Bob. I can make you a custom bed STL. I have a whole parametric bed STL generator. Can even cut logos and serial numbers into the grab tab. Nice. Hey, Kyle. Okay, so that is there. Now, since I imported this, what I need to do is save this as something for me. So let's save this, and we're just gonna call this Tridex. And I don't need 300 in the name, since I only have one Tridex. Let's say 0.4 nozzle is fine. I don't need any of this. So let's just save this as this. Okay. And then the filament stuff. Is there anything special in here on filament? Because I don't really need any of this. This actually could be useful. Tool changer stuff. Center warning is the keep out area for copy and mirror modes. Oh, got it. Stay out. So if you're gonna do copy and mirror, you have to stay here. Now, is this for your dragon burner tool heads? Or is this for, would this be the same areas for my stealth burner tool heads? And thank you for being here, Joey, because that's helpful information. Just the idle temperature and the filament. So if we go here, and is this under advanced? Purge, or is it under filament? Idle temperature, there we are, okay. We'll leave those for now. And then we're gonna save this as, yeah, that's probably fine. Let's just get rid of the end part of this. And I'm gonna move this to, so it sorts more easily. Like that. Would really like to see a print with a rigid and flexible material together. Great test for IDEX. Okay, so my slicer is set up here. We're gonna come back to this because we're not really ready to print. Let's play with the Ember Prototypes camera. Let's go here. Where is this? Ember Prototypes. The way the touch probing works is as the eddy coil gets closer and closer, the measured frequency gets smaller and smaller. When the nozzle touches the bed, it bounces into the left center field. Interesting. So if I go to products here, and I want the camera offset XY calibration tool, and I want to find a download. Are there downloads here? Here we are. Documentation and software. So let's get the Windows software. And I guess I download this. Late to the party. Hey, 1060. Got engrossed in watching England versus France rugby match. Nice. Let's save this. Let's throw this out on projects, Tridex, and here. Might actually convince me to switch from tap. Oh, the thing. I think beacon and similar probes are cool. They're not perfect. None of these solutions are perfect. There are considerations on all of them. Beacon, being an inductive probe, is subject to magnetic interference similar to any other. So, as an example. Is using some Nozzle camera to do their IDEX config as well? Yeah, I saw that. Beacon is not compatible with BTT Pi or BTT Manta. They have a warning on the purchase page around that. Interesting. That's why the touch probing is huge, yeah. And tap is not a perfect solution. Tap is far too high a pressure, far too high of probing pressure on tap. It works okay on a rigid bed with a textured sheet, really. But a smooth sheet is going to see some marks on it over time, type thing. Okay, so that is downloaded. Let's bring up, not that, bring up this and go over to, and that's not what I wanted to do. But I guess that'll be fine. Extract. You can touch probe to home, touch probe to mesh, scan for home, and any combination between. Pretty wild. Use a USB hub, which they say on the page. Tap plus camp is a pretty good solution. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using that on the Phoenix. Camp and while adaptive meshing is. Okay, and let's set this up. Run. That's kind of a weird way to fix it, but indeed that is correct. To use a USB hub. Okay. Install. It's on another page, another screen. I need to get a USB cable over here. Need a Windows protected your PC. Run it anyway. Not detected, yeah, because I don't have. It's not plugged in. We're getting a did not detect error. I do need to go to the other garage. I have a USB extension cable. I'll be right back. Okay. You'll have to mod the stealth burner. Okay, so USB cable. Let's plug this in over here and hope this actually plugs in and works. Long USB cable. And this is not nearly zoomed in enough. There we are. Whew, I can see now. Whew, it's bright. It is bright. Let's go in here. Set this on somewhere around the middle of the bed. I'll probably adjust that until it matches and then go from there. It would be cool to have one extruder for the main color and the other for multiple accent colors. Run like a ERCF or something into one tool head. Okay, let's go back here. This says the camera was not detected, so maybe it'll be detected now. Okay, here we are. I'm going to, this is the thing, but I'm going to probably exit and restart it because the camera's plugged in now. Camera not detected. Okay, let's find out why. Let's go into Device Manager. Max, welcome. HD camera. So is there a driver for this? Because it says it's not. Is there a driver, verification print? None of that. So let's see if I can, here. We're just getting a, let's see, update the driver. Let's see what happens. This driver is already installed. Close. Why isn't it working? The IO device is configured incorrectly, or the configuration parameters to the driver are incorrect. Okay. Let's unplug and plug it back in. There we go. Now let's try. There we go. Okay, so now, are we homed? Yeah, we're homed. So I'm gonna move this thing around. Ooh, that's a dirty nozzle. Ah, I had this all over the place, so let's do this again. I'm gonna get it close, just so it, and of course it is a mirror of what I actually want to do. That's really close. That is a very dirty nozzle. Can this get any bigger? Woo! A little bit of a zoom. How far will it zoom in? Very far. Maybe Windows restart. Nope, we got it. We got it. Okay. So, you could stick a small metal plate to that camera so it sticks to the magnetic bed. It has a magnet on the back. See, it's in here. It's sticking to the, there's a magnet on the back of it and it sticks to the plate. Let's see how well you built the gantry. Shush. That's why I use black nozzle to hide my dirty. Let's go back here and bring up the user manual. Let's do it how they intend to. When they sent me, so Ember Prototypes sent me this camera back before they were selling them. So I don't think there was a manual here last time I was messing with it. So it eliminates the need for all this by utilizing camera and software. The calibration accuracy is limited by your machine's minimum manual jog resolution. The minimum manual jog resolution on your printer is 0.1 millimeters. The maximum error is going to be 0.05, plus or minus 0.05. I like this, makes me really want to do a tool change now. Yeah, we're gonna play with this camera and maybe nudge in the black box build as well. We'll probably start with the camera again because nudge isn't actually set up with configs and stuff for black box. Should be responsible to and go mow the lawn. I won't tell anyone if you hold off, Adama. Let's see, let's go down. Hardware overview. One of my suggestions to them is make these LEDs controllable. So you can turn them on and off. Software overview. And then download and extract the software, connect it Determine whether the magnet will work on your printer if you need to attach a reusable adhesive pad. Run the software, select the generic profile, and adjust the offset inversion parameters if necessary. Okay. So if we go here and we're on an IDEX and just a generic IDEX. And if we just start, so you must clear existing machine offset value. So I'm at 0 right now. It works on everything else. Or a web app, yeah, there is a web app. You must home the machine after any changes to machine offset values. Order of operations is critical. Follow the software instructions carefully. Ensure your CXC is stable and does not move during calibration. Now where it is right now, I think, oh no, it won't. I think we're okay. I don't think we need to move it after we home. So we said, okay. So what do we do? Clean the nozzles, heat to 200C and wipe both with a brass or stainless brush. Let's do that. Let's heat this up. Lon will be there tomorrow. Exactly. Let's heat this guy to 200 and get it cleaned off a bit. We don't really need it to be 200 to clean it off. I'm gonna go like 160. It looks like what the camera must see just before. How you doing, Max? That looks like the do. That's gonna warm up, and then let me grab some tweezers. Let's see if I can just kind of get it. Oh yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Much better. I know we're supposed to use a brass brush. That's probably good enough. We can see those two highlighted spots. Plastic Glide would be clean already, just saying. I have Plastic Glide on the VZ bot. Better tweak my back unloading the big bird, but you're okay now? Ew, I'm sorry. Okay, so that. Is this even seen? Can you see the tweezers? Yeah, there they are. Tweezers. Yeah, that'll work. That'll be good enough. How do can I change? Ooh, I need to clean up my macros. If I do that, there we go. Ooh, that is way off. Holy moly. Oh, and it's not heated up. Let's heat it up. Put a pellet lift on the bottom for that printer. He has a lift. It was amazing in helping to load and unload those, and they were still difficult to do. They're big birds. Big burning birds. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. So then we're gonna change back to tool 0. And that's right where we left it, so that's good. How's the development of Phoenix going? Steady, I would say. It should help now that mine's enclosed and I can actually print with it. So, and I can get it to heat up now. So we were having problems. I was having problems at Rocky Mountain getting the beds to heat up to ABS temps. I'd only printed PLA on it thus far. So I wanted to print some ABS at the show, but I kept getting not heating at expected rate errors. Not heating at expected rate errors, and tried doing various PID tune strategies, and didn't spend a ton of time on it at the show and never really got it going. As soon as I got home, I redid the PID tune by heating up the first plate, doing a PID tune and leaving it at 100C, and then PID tuning the second bed and leaving it heated up and going through the 4 beds that way. And now it'll heat up to 100 without giving an error. So, okay, so clean the nozzles, back up current calibration values, and then set to 0. So they're 0 right now. Continue. Home the machine. Move the Z-axis up to 30 millimeters. Let's see what happens if I home all, if I'm gonna. I think it'll home without bumping into the camera. It's due to it being independent heated beds. So they are 600, on mine they're 600 watt beds. So 4 of them is 2.4 kilowatts, which is right around 20 amps in the US. If you try to heat them all up, it'll pop a typical breaker here in the US. Whew. Okay, and then we want to go up to 30 is what it says. And we're at 29.99999. So we're good. My beds are thicker and have a lower wattage heater, yep. So, home the machine. So now we're gonna continue. Place the CXC on the bed and drive the left extruder until visible. Rotate the lens to focus the camera, adjust exposure if required. I think that's probably okay. I'm not gonna disturb it. And I think we can shift. Let's see if I can do a move here on the screen. 0.1 millimeters, X plus, the wrong way. X minus, X minus. And we're probably, 0.1 is the smallest resolution on the screen. I'm gonna probably call that okay. So you have to have all 4 beds hot when printing, can't leave 3 off and only use 1 quadrant of bed. There's no reason you couldn't, JH, because you could do adaptive mesh in the area of the print, but there's no automatic way of heating whatever zone of the 4 things that you're printing in. Does that make sense? Okay, so this isn't perfect, but we're gonna leave it right here as a test. It's probably not clean enough to do this well, and I should probably focus it. If we do that, and what does it say? Place, rotate the lens to focus. Maybe I will, never mind. I'm gonna rotate that lens to focus. It was hard to. See if I can get a better focus on this. It's really hard to do without. So close. You don't have to make this. You can move it around. There, we'll leave that right there. I'm lazy and change Z to focus. That's not a bad idea. What sort of chamber temps do you get in the Phoenix running ABS? What are you hitting, Max? Okay, let's rehome because I moved that around. And I think I'm going to take Joey's advice. Hey, there we go. And adjust Z to focus. Higher than I thought it would get. What are we saying? 50 to 60, yeah. There's a lot of, I don't know what mine's gonna hit because I have smaller heaters on mine, but. Okay, press the O to rotate the lens to focus and adjust exposure. Let me re-home all, just to reset all the offsets. Filtration fans help even out the temp. We're basically pumping hot air around the printer. Little convection oven. Okay, let me adjust Z. I'm gonna move this over here so I can see it. And Z is gonna go, that's getting worse. So I'm gonna go the other way. I think I was pretty close where it was. Let's go back to, I think this is about as good as it's gonna get as far as focus. And we can zoom out a little bit. There. That is also 9mm thick. Yeah. Continue. Move the left extruder until centered in the crosshairs. So let's go back here, and we are going to move it in 0.1. I think I want to move that way. And what I can see of the nozzle is very close. Enter the absolute X and Y position into the fields above. Let me try. I'm going to go into the, what was that? -X. So let's repeat this command and go G. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Because we're going to be pretty close. I want to, oh, here it is. We're going to go -0.05. One more and look at it now. Okay, there we are. That's what we're going to go with. I'd be able to sell the Phoenix my wife as a pizza oven. Nice. Now we're going to enter the absolute values in here, which is 124.85. 124.85 and 125.0. Okay. Continue. For IDEX, home the left extruder and move the right extruder to the position previously recorded. For dual extruders, move the gantry until the right nozzle is... For IDEX, home the left extruder and move the right extruder to the position previously recorded. So let's go T1. Okay. And we're off here. This should be 124.85 and 125, so that's correct. So now we go continue, and now we're going to move this until it matches. So we're going to, let's go 1mm, because this is quite off. There it is. Wow. Oh, and that's really close. Maybe go back by, we want, let's see where that is. Nope, I want to go. Nope, wrong way. Where is, there we go. And then Y is going to move that way. Nope, the other way. Okay, that's really close. And so you need some way to conduct the heat away from your deposited plastic. Air is pretty good at that. Radiant heat, not as good. Okay. So now we're going to continue and enter the offset values into your printer or slicer. Oh, where are our offset values? Oh, I needed to enter these. Okay. 128.95 and, oh, that says 125.0. I thought I moved Y. That's weird. If you use the adjust macros, it will set the offsets automatically. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So now this is my calibrated offset values, which seems really high. I don't remember having a 4mm offset between the tool heads before. Or a -4. That seems weird. Does that seem weird, Joey? Hey, wolf pup. Resize your browser so the nozzle doesn't disappear every time you click a button. Yeah, I know. But my screen setup is weird. Okay, so -4.10. So we could go in here and go to machine and what is it? IDEX variables and T1 offset and X is -4.10. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And if we save and restart, I'm not running sensorless. My end stop locations may need adjusted. Yeah, probably. But we should still be able to go here now and bring this up. And if I home, let's home all first. Yeah, sensorless is not a good idea. As long as the camera didn't shift on the bed there, we should have, it's not perfectly there, but if we switch over to T0, it should be close to about the same offset. So if I go here and change to T1, it's way off. Why is that so far off? Why is that so far off? It looks like it didn't apply the offset at all. Should that have applied the offset from, no, not there, from IDEX variables? Do I have something not set up properly? So IDEX variables should be, where is that included? I did a clipper restart, yep. I have that. Maybe invert X instead of, oh, it might be that far off. Oh, it could very well be that far off. Good call. Good call. It might be, let's go here. Oops, not there. Let's go to, hey Josh, welcome. I think I had the inversion, might have had the inversion wrong because it does look about 8mm off right now. So let's redo that. Click on display offsets. I gotta organize these. Display current offsets. Yeah, right there. Let's go home all. Okay, so that's consistently a little, I mean, that's about how much it was off last time on the camera. Now let's change to macros, change to T1. There we go. That's better. I had it inverted. And I don't know how close that is to what the other one was, but hey, Delvin. We could spend some time dialing this in. Right now it's close. What is this? Okay. So with that, it is a tiny bit off. I agree. It is a tiny bit off. We can fine tune it, spending more time on it. I wanted to demonstrate how to use this camera, but now I want to move on to setting up nudge. So pull this out and turn that off. And this will be interesting because I have no idea if we're going to be successful on this or not. But let's look at the page for nudge. So, hey, Betty Ruxpin. This next part I'm very interested in. Me too. I have not set this up before. So that's the warning. I have not set this up before. This is the first time I've gone through it. There is custom clipper config that needs to be done, or a fork that needs to be installed. But if you go through here and it talks about nudge a bit, the link to this page is in the description. Talks about all of this, and for IDEX and a hybrid Core XY with dual carriage, it needs Franz Willems clipper PR. So nudge combines with Vestroux's nozzle align code, and other kinematics should be possible with clipper tweaks. So we need to do this PR first. The scratchy part is going to be enabling probing in X and Y and not just Z. So why is nudge required after the camera? Are you just trying to, it's different. You're right, it is not required after the camera. You could use just the camera and dial in your offsets and print just fine. What I want to try as well, though, is a mechanical offset alignment setup. We're trying two different things. We're playing with Tridex today. It's basically the whole idea. So we're gonna start here, I think. Let's go to the instructions section. See what's in here. So we have information on what to print and how to assemble it. All this stuff, but I want to get down here to more software configuration. So below assume clipper, if you use RepRap firmware and other firmware, PRs are welcome. Add nozzle align code to clipper. Nozzle align is a clipper extra from Vestroux's. The alignment may drift with different chamber temps. Having it automatically done is one less thing to deal with. Yep. Now, there are ways to do auto align with the camera. And that's one of the reasons that I suggested to Ember that they make that light controllable on it. So you can turn the light on and off. Okay, we are going to install, this is to install nozzle align, but if anybody can explain a little better why we need this PR for hybrid Core XY, that might be helpful. Where was that? Needs Fran, here, maybe this'll tell us. IDEX mode would swap the X and dual carriage rail in some cases, but not in others. As such, the position calculation was correct while homing, but incorrect for the second carriage during normal moves. This commit fixes homing to work without swapped rails, removes the swapping of the rails while homing, and removes the ability to swap rails. Fix has been tested in a hybrid Core XY IDEX printer. Identical changes, similar enough. So how do I actually install this? Isn't nudge you can do as part of the start macro? Yeah. Basically inverted 3D probe you'd use to probe stock on a CNC. So how do I actually install this as a PR? I should have looked this up ahead of time. Max, can I put you on the spot? How do I actually get this to install? Dragon. I've done this before. I did it early on in Tridex before the independent resonance testing was done. There are some commands you need to run in a terminal on the Pi. Yep, I can look those up. I have those. Let me see. There's a link in the nudge how to. Is there? Let me go back here and open this in a new tab and nudge how to. Instructions configuration. Hey Bill. Just finished pancake day with the grandkids. Awesome. Where is it in here or was it in a different? No, it wasn't here. Up top? Was it up top in the other page? This is to install the nozzle line, but where's the firmware? It's great to meet you at Rocky Mountain Stinger when. It was on that page. Where at? I'm not seeing it. Yeah, this is to install the nozzle align stuff. Right, but I need this PR for Clipper. And I think I have some instructions here. Let me bring up a command window. We need to get in here anyway. And then, let me see. Just a second. That's not it. Just finished baking a banana bread for the first time. Stuff is harder to make than building a printer. It's going to be a whole thing? It's going to be a whole thing? Is this going to be one of those 3-hour streams of trying to figure out how to do something in Clipper? To jump through some flaming hoops. I've done this before. It wasn't that bad. I have some instructions here I'm trying to find. Check out the branch. Oh, let's go here. CD Clipper, get branch. There's master. How do I go here? This is, there is a, do what Maz said? Where's Maz? Did Maz say something? Maz, fun cherry pick time. What is that? Fun cherry pick time. Anyone else lost the stream? I hope not. It says excellent connection. Stream is fine. Still streaming. Okay. You get my laptop. This is the pain on a phone. I have, if you give me just a moment, I've got I have instructions. I just have to find them. Smash the keyboard with that post. Is that instructions, Maz? I don't know what that means. PR is for clipper mainline. I'm always way late for the member stuff. Hey, Norgorot. Commit hash to use with git cherry pick. What is git cherry pick? I've never done that. The method to pull specific pieces from git. Cherry pick is not for this. I know I have instructions here somewhere. Cherry pick stuff you already have locally. I apologize for not looking this up. I didn't remember that this was a sticky point. What is the command I would use? So I'm still looking up my old instructions here. I'm liking the camera very much. Git fetch origin kinematic 6. So that's the correct 6486. That looks like what I've done before there, Bartos. Let me see if I can verify that. Yep, there we are. Okay, that matches what I've done before. Yep. I'm gonna do that right there, and I'm gonna type this out because copying and pasting. Okay, I'm verifying that from, and then I git checkout and then that, right? And then after I do that, I run git checkout to make that the active. Yeah, dirty clipper is what we're gonna end up with, yep. Git fetch origin, and then it's the pull 6486 from the IDEX kinematic position calc. Is that right? IDEX kinematic position calc. Yep, have to check out after the pull. Yep. Okay, why didn't that enter? Okay. Why is that not actually running? Enter. Oh, there we go. It just took a while. Now we get checkout and then this. Switch to branch. Okay, now we should be good. And probably restart. Yep. Let's just reboot. If you don't have dirty clipper, you're not trying hard enough. So I knew I had instructions because I was chatting with Eddie on this, and it's in the DMs with him. And I did find it once and found the git fetch. I searched by git fetch and found it. So I was able to confirm what we're doing here is the same process I've used before. A little 5 or 10 minute detour. That's not bad. Famous last words, right? Okay, this should be connecting. There we go. Now if we go over to machine and refresh that, we'll see that it's dirty. And if we go here now, and we're gonna reconnect. You say that only after you're done with the detour, not in the middle. Let's see, and then we can go over to here, and now we can follow these directions here. So we're gonna copy that, and I want to be, yep, paste that. I keep my playground clipper pretty dirty. Real machines get clean clipper. Let's see if we're, yep, there we are. Invalid. Failed to detect tracking remote from branch, IDEX, kinematic position calc. So we know that it applied now. This is, there we go. So now the nozzle align stuff should have been added. Let's go back to this. So we ran these, so now clipper should restart without issue. Add nozzle align configuration. Add and reference with some required nozzle align config as per the repo. So we need a file called this. You had an error there on the shell. What was the error? Nozzle align, done. Cannot stat. What is that? Cannot stat. Tools calibrate. Tools calibrate. It's trying to copy extras tools calibrate to, what is it trying to do there? That was here. Copy tools calibrate pi to, why is it doing that? Is that the same? It's trying to copy it to the same location, isn't it? Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, you can see it now. Yeah, that file isn't there. Should it be there? Yeah, that, I was gonna, shouldn't this have been more here, and then tools calibrate.py. Oh, it can't do that. Why not? Oh, what is, it's trying to copy the same thing into the same thing. You have to copy that file from nozzle calibrate to clipper. That's not what it's trying to do here. Is the documentation wrong? Okay, let's go. And where is that? It's not in there. It's not there. So what is it? What are the instructions actually telling us to do? Where's the source here? vstrs. Yeah, I think the docs are wrong. So let's see if we can find them. GitHub. Let's find this person. vstrs, is this the person? Lightweight tool changer 4 on 2. There we go. And nozzle align. Let's go to their nozzle align thing. To mechanical, to align. See the macros for an example. Install the clipper tool changer extension. Is this it? I tested my Murphy's Laws to the max, gave my brother a V0 that hadn't been touched, expected it to work, turned into clipper reinstall and a computer update fiasco. Oops. Is this what I want? I don't want to just do this without... This is tap changer. That's not what I want. I want nozzle align. Nozzle align. your nozzles. First command there, right here? Where? I don't think this is it. Clipper tool changer extension is what you need to install. Right here. To install this plugin, run the installation script using the following command over SSH. The script will download this GitHub repository to your home directory and symlink the files. Okay. Okay. See you, Julie. So we installed that. Now, what do we have? Nozzle align clipper tool changer. That's what we have there. We're still not at the point where we can run the other thing, right? Because the nozzle align still doesn't have that other file, right? A clipper folder there. Oh. Ah. There we are. That's what we need. Oh, got it. Got it, got it. So now we want that file. That's not what I want. We want that file in Clippy Extras. Oh. In Nozzle Align, there should be a Clipper folder. Hold on. Oops. There was no Clipper folder here. So the instructions are wrong. Okay. So if we go oops. There we go. And then we run that one there. Does that work? No, because it's not in actually Clippy. It's extras. The macros, two builds, nozzle line, guy split is repoed and mechanical thing, and software. Software is now Clipper tool changer. But this tools calibrate file, we still need to get over there, right? But that's not, are the same file. Oh, is that there now? Okay, never mind. It's there. It's there. Okay. Now we get back here. Add and reference a calibrate offsets config file with some required nozzle align config. Do I need to reboot again? Did I make changes that would require me to reboot? Probably. Let's do it. Starting to think this nozzle align thing is way outdated. Well, hopefully it'll be at some point just merged. What does tombstoned mean? What's tombstoned? way outdated as 1 week. Okay, we're back in here. We are going to create this config file. I don't have something already, right? Create that file. Bleeding edge, create. So this is calibrate offsets, and then friends file with some required nozzle align config as per the repo. The one below derives from the sample and works on an SKR Pico. The comments are confusing, yes. Maximize over travel. So this is going to be our basic config here. So let's grab this and put it in there and then play with it. Now that one is quite recent, so I guess these instructions are the ones that are now outdated. Well, let me know if I'm running into danger territory with what I'm doing here, but maximize over travel first. Adjust end stop or adjust the end stop position in software. Reducing lower Z, say to 0.1 to 0.2 reduces the amount of over travel needed. This file assumes you have a probe and that the probe is a nozzle probe like tap. If you don't have that, you'll have to comment out the probe line so that nudge is used as the Z side. Well, our pin for this is going to be, save and close. Pin for this is Z end stop. PG10. Close that. Here, this is PG10. Right? Millimeters per second to travel sideways for X and Y probing. This is what happens when you depend on another repo. You eventually end up with branching forested dependencies that all update 3 times a week. To travel down from top, the speed to move tools down onto the probe. Lift speed, final speed. Where do I set my name of the nozzle probe to use? Comment out if using nudge as Z probe. Nudge is, okay. I am using nudge as Z probe. But, okay, I think. Trigger to bottom Z was 0.25. Offset from probe trigger to vertical motion bottoms out. Decrease if the nozzle is too high, increase if too low. Sample retract, samples to tolerance. I don't know what any of this actually means. Let's look at the instructions. Reference this added calibrate offsets config in your printer config. Note that the include must come after the probe section. Restart clipper. Confirm installation and that config is in the right place by typing tool and seeing that tool locate sensor appears. So let's put this into, so let's save and close that, and let's last modify. Where's printer? There it is. Here to probe. Hey, look at that scroll. That was perfect scroll. Save and restart. See more than one program get its dependencies in a nod and fail. Yeah. So now we should, according to this, be able to run tool underscore and see what comes up. So is that in here as a macro? Okay, let's go tool underscore unknown command. Confirm installation that config is in the right place by typing tool underscore and seeing that tool locate sensor appears. So that didn't. So why not? What did I miss? References added calibrate offsets config in your printer config. I did that. I spent a night on a server room trying to RPM install a package without internet. Just ran USB stick. Ooh. This must come after. So all of that is there, but unknown command tool. Unknown command tool. Tool, then hit tab. Oh, is that what it said? Did I? By typing tool, oh, not necessarily hitting enter. There we are. Okay, thank you. To autocomplete. So what are we wanting to do with that? Tool locate sensor appears. Find center of probe. Put the head on the back edge, highest Y value possible. What if I do that? What happens if I do that? Must home before probe. Okay. So let me home all. Hi, Ed. Okay. I'm hitting right in the center of that probe at least. Now what happens if I do this? Oh, I don't think that's what I want. What was that doing? I triggered it to air it out. I didn't want to crash the bed. So now it's saying, find the center of probe. Put the head on the back edge. Jog it left and right until centered on the probe in X. Now move it 5 millimeters left and move it forward and find the Y value. Get within. You don't have to be exact, as you can put. I forgot there was a stream today. Hey, Sean. To be exact, you can put in the found center after the first iteration. Create a test macro to home the printer, then move to above the probe. You may want to T0 command in there. Put this, find the initial center position. Use the initial position probe again to find the refined position. What in the world? What in the world? What's cooking? Playing with... Well, I already know where that is because I use it as my Z end stop. Now, let's home all again. Streaming requires patience. As demonstrated right now, right? I'm not thrilled with this inlet setup. Things are getting a little too tangled for my likings. See you, Max. I'm gonna need to steal your stuff when you get it working. I will explain it when I get it working. Okay. We are going to find the center of probe. Put the head on the back edge. I already know where this is. If we go to here and go to our config and go to clicky probe, our end stop position is 154, 245. So if I go there, G0X 154, Y 245. Is that right? Yeah, and that should be And then here, G0Z1. There we go. That is right on top of it. So we are good there. So I know where that is. So now move it 5 millimeters left and bring it forward and find the Y value. Now move it 5 millimeters left, then bring it forward. What does that mean? Get within a millimeter or so. You don't have to be exact. You can put in the found center. Create a test, then move to above the probe. Go to probe start location. Oh, is Discord notifying again? Did I forget to turn that back off? Oh, there we are. That's better. That's still part of finding the position. So this looks a bit like you manually define the probe location. Once the tool head is over the probe center location, you call tool locate probe to set the offsets to 0 for that tool head. Well, that's the spot right there. Put the tool, jog it left. Note you may want a T0 command in there. Create a test macro to home the printer, then move to above the probe. See you, John. Okay. Let's go over here. And can I put this in here? I don't really want to put it here. I don't want to mess this, screw this up. Or can I? Yeah, I'll put them up here, just for a spot. And this is, what is, $245. Okay. I was digging around Discord to mute it. I tend to mute it most of the time. I had it muted earlier, but I had to turn it off because it wouldn't let me see my Discord invite link. And then I forgot to turn it back on. Okay, so note that you may want a T0 command in there. So let's put a T0, making sure it's on T0. See ya, Josh. Thought it was mine. Put this in the macro, which will find the initial center position. Using the initial position, probe again to find the refined position. That in there is another macro. That should be good. Z-Run shows stepping through probe locating similar to the Voron docs. Save and restart. Now do it. I don't know where does it say? Okay. Save and restart. Oh, error. File contains parsing errors. Home, macros, all of this. It's because, here, let's do this instead. Let's go here and let's grab all of this for right now. All this stuff that we put in here. Let's pull this out, save and close, and we're gonna put this in our printer config down here right below probe, because this stuff needed to be defined after probe. So let's put it in after this include right there. Let's try that. Nope, it's still erroring out. Line 4 T0. Why is that? Once the underlying issue is corrected. I'm sure you're not the only one who knows Steve usually turns streamer mode on. I try to. Oh, is there formatting errors here? Yes, that's what's going on. Thank you. What is this? Is this what needs indented? And does this need to be G code? Like that? There we go. There we go. Hey, Francois. Oops. Shoot. Okay. Grabbed the wrong. There. Ah. So if let's see if we hopefully don't crash this. Okay. Now, if I do probe now, I guess we'll see what happens. I'm a little concerned with not having set a Z for this probe. And is there a macro here now? Okay, I'm gonna be ready on the emergency stop. And I think, let's try this. It should give us a reasonable view right there. Probe now. Okay. Wow, a lot of movement there. Ooh, it's working. Oh, probe triggered prior to movement. I mean, it was moving in the right spot. Hey, bearded bucket. Okay, so it said we're making progress. It said probe triggered prior to movement. I think it seemed to move really far away from the it really moved far away from the center of the probe to do that. Hey, Poity. Yes. Whoa. Oh, Siri was trying to answer my question. Let's go here and go here and go to the calibrate offsets. What is this? Millimeters to travel down from top for XY probing. What does that mean? Millimeters to travel down from top. The speed to move tools down onto the probe. Where is the, how do we tell it how far away to move? Is that what this is? Let's see if there's things here. The valid run looks like this. Run it a few times in a row. The detected center value should be very close within a microstep. You can probably just run the tool calibrate offset function with an appropriate macro. Automatic persistent. Z has this on a permanent. It uses nudge. You run one macro and it finds and saves the offsets. How do I tell it? What am I telling it to, how far over to go? Actually, it says it's triggered before move. Let's go, let's close this and look at our end stops. End stop Z says it is triggered right now. Why is it? Okay, I just moved the tool head. This says that it's good. So it is triggering, but why is it giving me that error? Why is it giving me probe triggered prior to movement? Why is it giving me probe triggered prior to movement? It triggered it. Maybe sample retract distance isn't big enough. I moved it back 1 millimeter and that's what I just did, is I just moved it 1 millimeter and it is no longer triggered. Probe made contact at 154.245. So the message is there. I don't know what some of this is the problem. Maybe it already had moved the 2 millimeters. It triggered as soon as it touched it is the problem. When I did the home, I want to go here, of the safe retract. Possible it is expecting XY trigger and it is seeing the Z end stop. It's using PG10. Trigger to bottom of Z. I'm gonna do here. Oh. If I home right now, okay, there we go. I'm gonna home again. Do it again and check the values of X and Y. So that's doing that, and it's homing Z right now. Okay, so that's homed. Now if we go back and do probe now, it's gonna home again. Should have just said probe now. It's just doing its regular homing moves right now. Now it's going to move back and it's going to touch off on the top, but it moves over so far. And now as soon as it touches, so it says we're at, it says probe triggered prior to movement. It says we are at 152.4 and 245. I ran into when I tried using the nozzle align last September. I never found a way to get past this. 152.4 and 245. That's where we are. Oops. Probe triggered prior to movement. And if we go here, right now it is triggered in console or the absolute. Now move it 5 millimeters left, then bring it forward and find the Y value. Get it within a millimeter or so. You don't have to be exact, so you can put in the found center after the first iteration. Create a test macro to home the printer, then move to above the probe. It didn't back off. T0, put this in the macro, which will find the initial center position using an initial center probe. So go to probe start location and tool locate sensor is what it's doing. If we go, is the 2mm moving in the right direction? I don't know what, the documentation doesn't tell me what, I'm not seeing what these actually do, or I'm not reading it right. Jog left. Move it. Try increasing those 2mm. Try increasing what 2mm? You don't have to be exact. Create a test macro. Try increasing what? Retract distance. I don't, sample result, I don't see a retract distance in here. This isn't homing. This is calibrating offset. So the homing retracts. Oh, there it is. You're right. Sample retract distance. You're right. I see it. I mean, sure. Let's see. I don't know. Save and restart. Starts back up. Go here. And here's what we're going to do before we do that. We're going to go into settings. We're going to go to macros. And we're going to create a holy list. Where's the groups? Simple expert. Let's add a group. Let's call this probe. I don't know. And then we want, this is clicky stuff. We want the probe now, probably, that's clicky probe stuff. Is that the only one there? The list is really giant. That's why we're gonna go ahead and clean this up. I think that's what we're gonna do there. We're going to change the color of the button, status. How do I add another group? Can you see what the probe is pressing on? It is the nozzle end. I don't think it's taking into account the diameter of the rod. From what I understand, that's kind of 3D touch probe, and your rod is as long as maybe 2mm, a little too little. How do I add another group? Close that. Ah, there we go. Add a group. Let's go live offsets. Let's get all these in there. Oops. There we go. And then let's do clicky stuff. Add. I'll clean this up a little more later, but just getting some of the things into different groups. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Close. Okay. Oops, I wasn't showing any of that. I apologize. Holy moly. I was separating this stuff out into different areas. And let's go here. Dashboard. Let's move some of this stuff over. There we go. So now we can hit probe now. Why didn't that move up? So my Z didn't move when I did that. I need to fix that. That's probably close enough. So let's see what it does. That's with the 4mm retract distance. So there's that. Now it's way, yeah, it's probe triggered prior to movement. That didn't change it. Probe triggered prior to movement. I'll change the colors of the specific macros, like my startup macro is green and my shutdown macro is red. Yeah, lots of fun stuff you can do here to clean this up. So it's not retracting at all. It's not retracting. Go away, Siri. Go away, Siri. What am I missing? Is it missing in the instructions, or am I missing something in the instructions? Because this is all about finding the center of that probe. I found it. There's nothing here that has you enter anything else. You want a T0? There are some troubleshooting details in the source nozzle align repo. Okay. Let's go there. Nozzle align. But look at your absolute coordinates and nozzle and console coordinates. What do you mean? It matches. It doesn't match. What's this? I don't know. I don't know. Where? Nozzle align. I saw X made contact at 154 and shows. How do you know X made contact at 154? It says in the console it's 152.4 and it's over. It's on the side of the. Okay, the watch is going away. The watch is going away. Siri keeps activating. Hey, SM. Calibrate the tool offset. First position the nozzle appropriately above the probe. The probe will find the center on its own within. The probe will find the center on its own. The first tool has all offsets to 0 and is used as a. Jesus. This is really, really frustrating. Why is Siri activating today? For every other tool, run tool calibrate tool offset to measure the offset from the first tool. Siri is about to go out the window. Yes. It's activated like half a dozen times already this stream, and it never does. Probe triggered prior to movement. Hey, there's a troubleshooting step. The nozzle is not touching the probe, but it is. Check if the probe is triggering without touching. It's not triggering without touching. Check if the pin is configured correctly. The example configuration is for an active low with a pull-up. Depending on how you have it wired, you might need to remove for active high. The nozzle is touching the probe, could have probed a few times already. Likely the initial position was too far off center. Try to position it more accurately. The probe is lowered too much or cannot enough side. Oh, I wonder if that's, here, let me see here. Hey, William. No, it's touching the very tip of the nozzle. It's like what I would consider is probably a pretty perfect setup for where it's pushing on the nozzle. Oh, is it me or is the audio really quiet today? Really? Like the music is really quiet or me? Seriously. Are you there? Okay. Likely the initial position was too far off center. I'm perfect center, or very close to perfect center. Settings for the nozzle probe calibration. Probe, we don't need that. Trigger to bottom, to vertical motion bottoms out. Decrease if the nozzle is too high, increase if too low. It's pretty much right where I'd want it to be. Sound levels are fine. Final let's see, sample retract distance, samples tolerance. None of the troubleshooting steps seem to apply. Check if the probe is triggering without touching. And we can check that by going here and running that. And it says triggered right now, but if I move 1 millimeter over and refresh, it's open. Oh, so I've got an end stop versus a probe. I'm using, does it redefine the pin with the new scripts? I see your probe pin. Yeah. Probe is Euclid. So it is, probe is Euclid. How do we, okay. So I only use the probe for, so how do we fix that? This has got to be set up to be able to use something else for meshing and Z-tilt. So how do we, maybe it's in this spot here, probe, because we commented that out. Name of the nozzle probe to use. Comment out if using nudge as Z probe. Is it as simple as going in here and uncommenting this? Something up there about using clicky or Euclid. Where did you see that? Oh, where was it? Was it in this one or was it in this one? This file assumes you have a probe, and that probe is a nozzle probe like tap. If you don't have that, you'll have to comment out the probe line so that nudge is used as a Z side. Let's try that. Maybe it's as simple as me misinterpreting that. Maybe that's all it was. Let's find out. Let's home it. What are we at? 12:30? We're doing good. Okay, now we're gonna probe now. It's gonna home again, but I need to fix this. The probe now doesn't move Z when it homes. Right now it just homes. So I need to go in there and tweak that so it clears, gives me some Z clearance before it does the thing. Okay, now it's gonna go back. Does that. Nope. Probe triggered prior to movement. What is this? Nozzle line. Where was that? This file assumes that you have a probe and that the probe is a nozzle probe like tap. If you don't have that, you'll have to comment out the probe line so that nudge is used as the Z side, which would indicate to me that that should be commented out. Yeah, it's triggered right now. I move this over. Oop, what happened? Now it's open. I had to move 2 millimeters to untrigger it. Same here. Do you have this working, Joey? Do you have this working? Does anybody here have this working? Reducing the lower Z. I can never get to this past this point. Reducing lower Z, say to 0.1 to 0.2, reduces the amount of over travel needed. No problem, Bruno. This is where I switch to camera offsets. Reducing lower Z reduces the amount of over travel needed. What does that mean? Maximum over travel, first adjust end stop or adjust the end stop position in software. Maximize over travel. Well, I've got enough room to hit all sides of this. This will be fine. This file seems, I think the problem here is between the probe and the Euclid. End stop and probe. I've got the right pin defined. And it's triggering, but it sees probe as triggered. Name of the nozzle probe to use. What other options are there? Is that in here? So probe. Name of the nozzle probe to use. Is there anything in here? Calibrating nozzle bed. Do the first 2 steps. Run tool. Troubleshooting. Name of the nozzle probe to use. Settings for nozzle probe calibration. I don't get it. I don't get it. We're not using the same thing. I've got an idea. I got an idea. I want to I feel like I'm gonna crash it if I try this though. What happens if I do if I say probe now? Yeah, it's gonna home and it's gonna crash if I do that. Try something. Now it's going to come down here. Nope. Nope. I feel like the like button is broken on this stream. So what I tried there is I tried throwing the Euclid on the tool head. Hey, Laura. I tried throwing the the Euclid on the tool head before it did that probing move. So right now we go here. End stop Z is triggered, but probe is open. Just as a experiment, it didn't change. But the error is probe triggered prior to movement. It's not triggered. It's not triggered. Is it a challenge with clicky macros? I don't think so. I don't think so. What time is it? I don't think so. I think what we're going to have to do is let's set up a print. Let's use our offsets that we have with the camera. Does decreasing the spread value in config help? The spread value. Are you talking about in here? And is there a, what is the, spread? Millimeters per second to travel down from top for XY probing. That's just a speed. Or is that MMS? Is that MMs? Not with clicky macros. I got the same error with tap probing. The clicky is nominally closed, so it's triggered if it's not connected. Correct. It's triggered, but it shouldn't matter. The problem is this says MMS, but they also reference MM per /sec. So some inconsistency in language here. Is it millimeters to travel down from top? That's what it reads like. And it's going into a perfect spot. It's triggering like half to 1 millimeter from the very tip of the nozzle. Trigger to bottom of Z. Offset from probe trigger to vertical motion bottoms out. Decrease if the nozzle is too high, increase if too low. Everywhere that it is moving looks perfect. It moves a little too far away from to the side, but it's triggering. I don't think this is ready, so we're gonna print instead. I don't think it's ready. Let's close this. Let's home. Let's do a print. Given its name, bigger would take more time, giving it time. The documentation, the settings, there's not enough samples probably. So hopefully this will help add a scenario to the documentation. Hey, Farouk. I don't know how to say your first name there. Kushish? Kuchich? That's frustrating. Because I think we've all gone through this. I don't see anywhere I'm missing. We can't get it to do a basic calibration, so. There's a scenario here that's not covered, or I'm missing something. Do you need to remove anything from your printer config file if you're not using nozzle align? I can't think of anything. I can't think. Include must come after the probe section. Confirm installation. Everything's doing the thing. It's just not triggering properly. All of this is about finding the center of that probe, which I already did. Find the initial center position. Using the initial position probe again to find the refined position. I don't know what they mean by refined position. I have no idea what that means. Go to probe start location. But why wouldn't you just use clicky for both the Z-stop function as well as meshing? Sorry, I'm used to other firmware that does this different. I don't know the answer to that, Nerdle. I've ran out of bandwidth to answer that. You want to just print and not use a nozzle align and just keep... Oh, I don't think any of this really matters as far as printing. If I don't call these functions, it's not going to impact the setup, I don't think. I could be wrong. Go to probe start location. Here, what if we run just that? We should have a... down... Oh, where's the rest of our... So it only shows macros now if you've added them to something? That's dumb. Macros. Edit. Go to probe start location. Add. And what was the other one? The other one was tool locate sensor. Where's tool locate sensor? Oh, that's a command. Okay. That's fine. And close this. Go to probe start location. What name is a Euclid probe called and what name is a Z-align probe called? There aren't names for them. Could just comment out what you added in printer config just in case. So that, all that command does is go to the top there. And then if we go to the console now and go tool underscore tab, we've got tool locate sensor, tool calibrate save tool offset, save tool offset calibration to config, tool calibrate tool offset, calibrate current tool offset relative to tool 0, or calibrate the tool probe offset to nozzle tip. Because you don't have to. You need to use the name. What name? I mean, probe is probe. There is no name. There is no name. Is there a ability to give it a name? Yeah, let's find out. Go documentation, config reference, probe. I want some of the ways of searching docs is so frustrating on Clipper. I want to go just to the probe section. How do I get to the probe section? If I click probe, you would think I would get to the probe section. Now let's do this and choose. Where is probe? Smart Effector, BL Touch, probe. There we are. I mean, it's here. Why can't I search for it? Get my money back. Exactly. Okay, pin, deactivate, X offset, speed samples, lift speed. Yeah, I don't see a way to give it a name. You give it name in rep firmware, or an identifier, but yeah, that's not there. That doesn't help. I did not solve it. I'm probably throwing in the towel on this part. I don't think something isn't, I'm missing something. Not in stock Clipper in the nozzle line, I think. I'm sure Siri would have found it. Siri, where's the probe?
Does that one sound good?
No.
Looks like that's it.
Probe is probe, they would. Don't. Keep coming back to this. It seems like something would have to be in one of these, but there's no help here. Comment out your clicky and see if that works. Probe trigger, check if the probe is triggering without touching. It's nudge, yep. I don't want to comment out. I mean, there's no point. I can't use this without the Euclid probe. The printer doesn't work without Euclid. It doesn't matter if it's Euclid or whatever. It doesn't work without it because I need to be able to Z-tilt and mesh. Name of the nozzle probe to use. Where does it get this name? What is that? Where does it get that name? Name of the nozzle probe to use. Comment out if using nudge as Z probe. And we're using nudge as Z probe. But probe is the wrong word to use here. We're using nudge as Z stop, not probe. Yeah, I'm done. I don't think this scenario, and this should be a common scenario. If this scenario isn't covered, then I'll need to chat with ZRuncho and see what I'm doing wrong. So we are going to, I think it is smart to revert to the I think it's smart to revert to the other branch as someone suggested. So let's go in here and do this. And nudge combines well with nozzle align code. Nudge combine, that's what we're using, Bruno. So glad you're doing this and not me, because it's fine. It's fine. It's just frustrating because if I'm having this much trouble, yeah, no, most aren't going to be able to get through this. Okay, let's find my same name conversation as extruder 1. No, because there's nowhere you set probe names. That's not the same. At least those refer to a stepper name. Okay, so I think get fetch, no. All I should have to do is get checkout main. Huh? Get branch. Oh, master. That's why. There we go. Yep. You know, all men like to name their probes. I give up. Oops. Password. I will report back when I get this working. We will get it working. I want it to work. The hardware is, like I said, I love the nudge design. The software is not there. It's not nearly user-friendly enough. I haven't given up. I've given up for the stream. I've got about an hour max left on the stream. So I think if we go here, we should end up clean again. I haven't given up. We'll figure it out, but I'm not going to figure it out here on stream. What are we going to print? What are we going to try to print? I'm going to grab some. We're just going to do some PLA. Got a couple of colors here. What are we going to print? Clean up these. Let's do strategy somehow turning a hardware description into a clipper config. Oh. Make sure I didn't twist it. Any suggestions for a quick 2-color print? I'm not really pleased with my inlet setup here. It's getting far too tangled. I'm starting my build tomorrow, so I'm scared of the software part of it. Machined the bed yesterday. I wonder if I switch these. If I switch the tube that the print head that each goes to, if it would be better. Ooh, it might be. Let's try that. It would put it opposite. Let's see what that does. Take that there. This one over here. How does this work? Yeah, that actually works a lot better. That works a whole lot better. This is more like how I had it before as well. I need to flip this around to where it goes on top of this one. Oh, come on. There we go. There. That. Yeah. That means that this spool is for that tool head, but that's okay. That's doable. Across the streams. Yeah, but at least they're not getting tangled now. What are we printing? Nobody's giving me any ideas. Got the chart. It's clean now. I just did the, see? It's clean. We're going to be printing PLA, so we can leave that open. No, Poity. I need to reset my Z offset as well, so. And I don't know what the, IDEX is always a challenge. Well, the IDEX part isn't the challenge right now. I can't even get it to probe. Calicat, is there a 2-color Calicat? Print a Pokemon. Okay, let's go dashboard. We need to heat this thing up. Let's get this one to 160, and let's get the bed up to 65. Set up our, hey Rod, Rocky Mountain logo. I only got 2 colors, and I need something small. .3DO Panda, low poly EV. Need something small and quick, at least to get through a few layers. I'm really frustrated that that didn't work, because we got through all of the software stuff, and now it's just, I don't know. I think it's detecting the Euclid probe when it's trying to trigger. Yeah, this is already way better on the filament path. Just swapping those. That's a big difference. Stream chat has a link for calibration cubes. Calibration cubes at the bottom page. That's this. Go back. Verification print, left extruder. What is that? Calibration cube, left extruder. Why do we want? What does this look like? I'm not sure that's what I'm looking for. But let's try it. Right extruder. Oh, I see. There we go. That's what we got. This'll work. This'll work. This is a nice little print. Do the ember thing. We're using the embers offsets, so. I wish more people build web pages with colorblind folks in mind. Yellow is hard for about 12% of the male population. We'll do this. Where are we? This is heating up. Hey, Sergey. Hopefully I can find Z-Rancho or someone that can figure out what I did wrong. Because that's annoying. We are at temperature, so let's go back over here, and home it all. That's weird. It's not consistently lowering Z to do homing, because I just hit home all and it's been doing that every other time. And then Z tilt. I'm just happy that it's homing Y now. You may have done nothing wrong, simply a test escape. Yeah, if we can identify a scenario in the solution, then it'll be worth it. That's for sure. What homing do you have included in the printer config? It's the clicky homing override. Not related to stream, I have high wind rail with Z1 preload with EP2 grease. It feels sluggish. How freely does Z1 move? Don't know how to define that. It doesn't need to fall with its own weight to work okay. So you're probably fine. There we go. Now we're gonna, oh, there it goes, homing Z. Okay. And what is it, Z calibrate? Nope, what was it? What is the command? What is it? Not probe calibrate, manual leveling. Here we are. Z and stop calibrate. That's what I want. Okay, let's move it down. Ooh, can I change that? Nope. Okay, let's get our patented Chris Riley, Chris's basement paper. Oh, too many. That's pretty close. All right, right there is where I'm going to set it. Accept. And save config. Wondering if it's expecting a virtual end stop for Z like tap. I don't have it set up as a virtual end stop. Oh. Former restart. Okay, let's get it reheated again. I don't trust it to do that. Let's home all. Yeah, see? It didn't do a Z thing. I don't get it. Okay, Z tilt again. What do we have here? Oh. That's 0.123. I haven't messed with the homing overriding the clicking macros much since I don't have the hardware installed anymore. It's most likely in there. Yeah. It's just annoying that it's inconsistent. It did it how many times while we were doing this, and then it hasn't been. Okay, those are still heating up, so let's go to the slicer. So we have this, and I'm gonna go in here and I'm just gonna cheat on this. I'm just gonna change these. Let's go idle temperature. Let's go 180. Let's go 215 and 65. Nope. 215 and 65. Whoa, how did that do that? There we are. And then cooling, we want 100%. I'm just changing these to quick ABS settings. Fridges. And none of that really matters. Don't forget Z offset on T1. What's the best way for me to set that? I'm about to ask how's the Z offset on T1. What's the best way for me to set that? Nope. Cancel. Platter. So if I go to here and change over to, I really hate that the macro goes away if you don't define it. Okay, so we set this, and if I go to G0Z1, And if I baby step this until I'm at about the same thing, can't you probe T1 on the probe and see the difference? I don't think there's a, is there an automated way to do that? Oh, there we are. We're at somewhere between 0.1 and minus 0.1 and minus 0.2. Start with T0. What do you mean start with T0? Well, we've already set, can't I just go to 0 and see paper test on this, or like minus point, so this is a plus offset of something like 0.15 is what I'm seeing here. So we should be able to go to here, and XZ is 0.15-ish. What's the proper way to do that? I mean, it's supposed to do it automatically if nudge worked. Clear my baby steps. I didn't set any baby steps. Yeah, let's save and close here. We go dashboard and look at here. I mean, it's 0.001 is what the Z offset is set to. So it's basically cleared. So now if I go to 0 on the tool head, if I go in here, some camera gizmo for the tool head's alignment, that only gets you X and Y. You can't do Z that way. I should be able to actually do this and get a more refined using these numbers. Yeah, and I'm really close. I said 0.15 and I'm at 0.154 right now. I would say I would go 0.16. Ah, live offsets, I see. And you separated these out into X, Y, and Z, which makes sense. I'd probably do that too. Does the gear in the tool head box give you extruder switching? No. Oh, right here. Should be negative though. Well, I had to go into a negative space, so I think this offset is, oh, yeah, it's the other way. You're right. It should be negative. Because it's bed movie. Minus, and I'll set this to 0.16. Let's save and restart that. So now if we home all, needs to subtract a negative to add. I'm sorry, I'm a little disappointed that the nudge setup didn't work. So I am anxious to figure out why. Okay, so that does that. And if I tell this to go G0Z 0.5, and just making sure that that's in a good spot. If I use the paper here to go Okay, so that's rubbing. So now if I go and I change to T1, now, and minus, so now I should be able to go down. Yeah, that's rubbing. So our offsets are very close. There is not a mechanism in this setup. There are other designs, Leo, that allow you to physically change the height of the tool heads. And you need to do that for duplication in mirror mode, right? It's not as important for dual color mode. But I'm very close on my Z offsets right now with what we did. Now we could live adjust them with these macros that Joey set up. Okay. Fine adjustment of the nozzle physical height is essential. Too many IDEX designs don't have that. So we are going to, I mean, we'll just set that to tool 1 and that to tool 2. If you have QGL, you could skew the gantry to compensate for varying Z offset. Then the whole thing, I mean, you're introducing angles there. And do I just slice now? Are we? These are both the same color, which is kind of annoying. But if I go extruder 1, let's go, I don't know which one is red. Okay. Why doesn't it, why didn't it change that to gray? To red. Okay, there we are. Now if we go here and slice it, we'll see what we're gonna end up with. Let's move this closer. Just do a thick first layer and you're golden. Is this good? I suppose if you calculate the angles constantly, it'd be live action gantry. Let's go here and set up a physical printer. Let's go Tridex and clipper on Tridex.local. Hey Marcel, test. It worked correctly, cool. Okay. Sure, I don't care. Did you update the filament for T1? Did I update the filament for T1? I don't know what that means. Why do you need a tower with IDEX? There's still a little bit of purge. That should be a pretty thin tower. Did you update the filament for T1? Oh, it's the same filament profile. I see what you mean. It's using the same profile. So it's the same settings for both. Is there anything else I need to change here? What does this do? Print start macro, which is already there. Let's see what it does. Draft shield works well. Let's send it. And I'm just gonna say, before I do that, let's clean the print bed just a little bit. Let's just send it and see what happens. Because this is really what I'm super excited about from Joseph's things here is the setting up the slicer stuff. Upload and print. Let's see what happens. Oh. Well, the homing procedure is weird. Okay, that works. We're sending it. Will there be a V2 IDEX style? I'm sure somebody has done a mod. This isn't even official. This is a community mod. Did you check out the stealth changer at the festival last weekend? I did. I did. Okay, now what's it doing? Oh, it's heated up. Oh, well, that's wrong. What the? What happened? It's homing to the Z, to nudge about 3 millimeters over now. It's homing to nudge on the side of the nozzle, not on the center. What changed? It applied an offset to this tool head instead of that one. No, it applied the offset to the wrong tool head. That's what's happened. Is it applied the offset to the wrong tool head, or I've got a configuration wrong. I just hit emergency stop. No, it's not about labeling the tool heads. It's about, I had moved tool heads. This was the active tool head. Oh, it's firmware restart. What do you want to see, Joey? Let's try that again with the with T0 as the active tool head when I start, because I think that's exactly what happened, and that's kind of a problem. It should be able to account for that. If I don't want to have to, have pay attention to which tool head was active last. Let's home all. Well, let's find out if it works this time, because right now it should be correct. Whatever I have applied, I'm pretty sure applied the offset, because right now it's homing fine. It's homing to the correct spot on the Z end stop. Let's do Z tilt. I got a hard cut at about 40 minutes from now. Just an FYI. This is good though. Dedicated time on this machine is what I need. Even if it didn't all go correct or necessarily well as expected. Print start should rehome X if T1 is left active. Okay, it's homing in the correct spot now. Okay, so now it's ready to print. So let's do that same print again. Print. What is it doing now? Oh, it checked it's home, so now it's doing a mesh. It didn't do a mesh last time. You noting that, Joey? It didn't get to the point where it was meshing. So there's something going on in the tool identification, which is the active tool head. Well, that's not happy. It's gonna fail here. It's not getting a valid. Oh, there it goes. It got one. It's not adaptive mesh. It's not liking. I'm probably going to be ditching the Euclid here then, if it's going to do this. I seem to remember this was starting to act up before. All these retries is not okay. I don't know if this is going to succeed. Yep. It doesn't do this on Z tilt. So something else is going on. Maybe I've got my tolerance set too tight or something. You would think it would do this on Z tilt, the retries, if it was a actual problem with the probe though. So I'll look at that. Yeah, I should see it on Z tilt if it was something physical, Kyle. So I would think I'm gonna look at the tolerance settings. Maybe they're different. Does the slicer config have the label objects in the output section set to firmware specific? I don't remember. Okay, so now it's heated up both nozzles. Move out of range. Move out of range. It's here. It's here in this because it's somewhere in the start macro. The print start macro probably has something set for a 300 build, and mine's not a 300 build. Print start. Where do I set that? Where do I set that? I thought all of this was supposed to calculate off of the IDEX variable, or not the IDEX variables. Where was it? The IDEX mode. Maybe I missed something else. Should all be calculated? It's trying to move the 300 something. So either that's a relative versus absolute issue, but it's trying to move to 300, which seems to me like a macro issue, which is fine. Where might that be? See if we can fix it. Is it under, is it just macros? Let's look at print start. Is your T1 offset set the parking area larger than your offset? It is your T1 offset. Set the parking area larger in IDEX mode config. IDEX mode. Oh, parking distance. Okay, distance from the end of axis to park the tool head needed for XY offsets. So that needs to be like 5, huh? Because I'm at 4.1 or whatever. Is that what the problem is? Maybe a note in here would be useful to say this must be greater than your offset number. You think that'll fix it? Print. Oh. That's correct. See, that went through all of those just fine. Okay, it's homing to the right spot. Rep firmware supports IDEX, absolutely. Rep firmware would be just as frustrating because it doesn't do anything for you. So I guess that could be frustrating. It might not be. But you have to define all that stuff. You're hiding. I really think rep firmware is easier, but maybe I'm weird. You know, to some degree, you know exactly what it's doing because you tell it everything to do, right? It is behaving. It's annoying. I am on an adaptive mesh version of Clipper. I just haven't enabled it on this printer. I just forgot is all. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the probing. Do I have Yeah, exclude object is in there too, so yeah. It is not in the bed mesh settings though. I need to add the mesh. Whoa, okay. And folks, that is going to be the end. It is way too low. I am glad that my currents are not all that high. I may still have bent the nozzle, but we're gonna call it because this has been an okay stream. But I think we've had 3 major frustrations. Yep. I don't know why that did that. We set our Z offsets. I will figure it out later. So I think it's time for food is what it is. Before I get actually hangry. Yeah, that's hitting the bed right there. I don't know why. I don't know what it's doing. So that was not expected. It doesn't look like it's bent just visually. I think I did okay. But this is a good call. I like. Oh, there we are. I got a towel. We will be back tomorrow. We are going to start the black box build. We will be doing the black box build. That's going to be a very long build series, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of building for a long time before we have to get into frustrating configuration. Black rock is good too. Oh, that's so much quieter with the doors closed. So much quieter. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being members. Thanks for hanging out with me for 3.5 hours of playing around with Tridex. We will hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks again and enjoy the build. Bye, folks.